And now I wanted to like kind of bring up a new topic, which was being like overly competitive.
Okay.
And it's something, as I've mentioned, I struggled with. But hyper competitive individuals, right? Those overly competitive people.
Mike don't quit, man. This guy is like a competitive beast. He's a maniac.
Yeah, in some ways it can be good. In some ways, I'm working on it though.
Okay. Okay.
But those who have a need to win at all costs, right? Those hyper competitive individuals
Yeah.
tend to be more impatient, irritable, more irritable than their less competitive counterparts.
And this was
And
on a study, right?
yeah, and because of that, they tend to have during the study they tended to have higher self-reported health
Oh,
problems,
okay.
including heart disease. So
Oh yeah, heart
I don't know.
disease.
It did. It just says heart disease, but maybe it's like heart attack or whatever. And after I read this, I'm just let's all of us let's take care of ourselves, right? We're trying to live life, enjoy life too, right? We just take a step back. I'm
Yeah, I
not trying to
mean,
die too early.
oh, dude, yeah, man. Like, I mean, because that's fair too, right? Like, I mean, if you're gonna be in a competition, what's gonna happen? Your blood pressure is gonna rise. You're gonna get all heated, or you're gonna be like in the moment all the time. If you're really competitive all the time, if you don't have an off button, then right, like it's chronic, right? So like you might end
Right.
up having chronic heart conditions, like just high blood pressure, or like just heart, maybe risk of heart attack, things like
Yeah.
that over time. I don't know. Who knows? So
Doctor Dude. I mean, when you're
you just
seeing
gotta be
patients,
careful.
whatnot, do they ever? Are there
Well,
any
people that are
that
high
you see?
strung, yeah, like if you're just high strung, have a lot of anxiety, like they're like, why is my blood pressure so high? It's like, well, maybe because you can't calm down, right? Like you can't like, in this case, if you're like overly competitive, you can't fight that like urge or whatever. So,
Right.
like I don't know, people that are high strung or intense are just naturally prone to these kind of things, right? So
Yeah.
you gotta
So
be careful.
like, I'll say, hey everyone, let's just try to relax more often. And personally, what helped me in that was like doing yoga and working on like mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
But I still have my outlets for competition. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, as us as competitors, like we still need to like I don't that quote unquote fix.
Yeah,
We need
like that fix
to.
that outlet, like that like urge, that drive, right? Well, anyway, namaste to you, Mike. Namaste to you.
Yes, thank you. My outlets were volleyball and Valorant, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, as long as you maintain a balance of it, everything, right? You got your competitive side, but also the time where you can relax, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And if you get both, you probably live a little bit longer, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, like, make sure that your activities that are supposed to be de-stressing actually do that, right? Like, because like, if you're playing video games that are stressing you out in your free time, then maybe that's actually counterproductive.
Yeah,
So you're
probably.
not de-stressing, you're re-stressing. So yeah.
So yeah, another part of that overly competitiveness is like we mentioned that it can be very similar to business, right?
Okay, yeah, I
When
agree.
people try to like, first I'll explain the research at the psychological standpoint, which is when people try to manage their impressions uh to of others, or sorry,
Like in the
try to manage the
workplace.
impressions, yeah, in the workplace,
Okay.
or it could be like even outside of the workplace, but managing the impressions of others, uh the others have of them, right? They tend to create a cascade of unintended negative consequences for
Okay.
both themselves and others.
Okay.
Yeah. And in contrast, when people try to contribute to the well being of other people, like, do good things for people, support them,
Golden rule.
they, yeah, they create a cascade of positive consequences for both themselves and others,
Okay.
right? And to kind of bring us back to episode one, as we discussed, when someone rationalizes or lies to protect themselves, right? Like in Valorant, let's say someone obscures the true reason for the negative result, right?
Okay. Yeah. Like they're
It
not facing the
make
truth or whatever.
yeah, it makes it much more difficult to discuss how to work together to fix the issue,
Okay.
right?
Like they're just like burying that, like sweeping it under the rug, right? Like they're just like
Yeah,
not talking about the right thing or whatever.
Right. And then like later on, it's just like you ended up just wasting time, to be honest, because you didn't know what the actual problem was.
Yeah, because you didn't address the real problem, the real source of the
Yeah.
problem. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe you went on to something and it was just like part was perfectly fine, right? Let's say
Right.
like someone was like you're a mechanic or something and the person told you to work on this, but that part was perfectly fine. And you're supposed to work on something else, I guess, and you just ended up wasting time,
I
right?
see. Yeah.
No, we all our time, everyone's time is valuable, right? Don't let your time be wasted too easily.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So also though, um, when you withhold information from people you work with, like this is the more business setting,
Hmm.
right? So you can be the one who solves the problem. The person who made the study states that elicits competitiveness in other people, but in a bad way,
Okay.
and it's bad for learning,
Hmm.
psychological well-being, and for growth. I mean, you can kind of put it together, right? If
Hmm.
you're gonna lie about that problem, right, then or like try to like just help yourself, then everyone's gonna start doing that too, right?
Right.
Because they
Okay.
know that that's that type of environment, right?
Right.
Where
So again, like if somebody is being cutthroat and not helping somebody else along, then like everybody else is gonna in turn feel that way or do that thing, right? Like if you have like a I don't know, like a culture or like a work culture or something, and if you already have a reputation for being cutthroat,
Mhm.
it could like be almost like contagious, right?
Right. It's like the opposite of what we mentioned in episode one of like the constructive environment or the constructive criticism, etc. Like working
Destructive
together.
environment, right?
Yeah, it's a destructive environment. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, like in TFT or team fight tactics, they made this mode called Double Up, right? Or a team based version of it
Hmm.
on League of Legends.
I haven't played it yet, but yeah.
It was pretty good. I've been playing with a couple of people, and something that I learned is that inherently, when you are working with your partner by
Hmm.
communicating with them, right, about what they need or what you need, it kind of creates a better vibe or a environment because now both of you are comfortable like saying like, oh, do you have this, like asking like, can you help me out here, do you have it, or like I need this, and then like when you can you just adapt, right? But
Hmm.
sometimes you never know, like maybe your partner will have a good solution to the situation, but you would never know if you didn't say anything, right?
Right. So you get like two minds on the case, right?
Right, exactly. And you create a better culture of chemistry between your partner, and that leads to that healthier supportive environment
I
we
see.
mentioned.
So are you the
And
left brain lobe or are you the right brain lobe in your duo relationship?
this is questionable. I'm probably both sometimes.
He's the whole
It's
brain.
like
Oh my god, fucking
no.
Mike.
It's
Big brain
which
galaxy
day is
brain
it? It's
Mike.
no. It's which day is it?
Honestly,
I
you
could
sound
be
like a
left or
marriage
right.
counselor right now. You sound like a marriage counselor right now. Communication is key, guys. Like yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Hey
So,
man, it just be like that sometimes.
okay, well,
But
that's
like
good to hear.
once you create that healthy, supportive environment, right,
Hmm.
that usually leads to more wins. And I definitely believe this because no matter what, in general, after like you have that supportive environment, uh, both individuals can focus on learning,
Hmm. So
and
you
the
get
wins
like the good
will,
results, right?
yeah, because like once you learn, like you're better at adapting to each situation, right?
Right.
And I, like no matter what anybody says to me, like if you have all these things in place, the wins will come with time.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of what you're saying is like if you have the right process, if you have the right thing in place, if you have like the support to make this work, the results will come. Like it'll line like even if there's like some variance in the way, eventually it'll all turn out like how it's supposed to because you've done what you're supposed to, right? Like basically you've laid the
Yeah,
groundwork for it. Yeah. Makes a lot of
for
sense.
sure.